everyone, welcome to Kelly's Creative Dream Studios, and it is All Things Altered Monday, and today I am altering the back, and I'm going to see if I can move these pieces here without disturbing or losing anything. I have an entire box of cardboard that was the back from my carpet squares when we did my office. Perfect weight chipboard. Well, not really a chipboard, but a cardboard, but it's great weight for doing covers. At the time, I thought I was going to need covers, but I'm making use of all that anyway. And one of them I'm using on today's project for All Things Altered. I'm working on a mat similar to this one that is going to go on the front corner of my front cover of my journal, but it's all going to be about steampunk spells from Graphic 45. Now, before I go into that, notice this little hot air balloon here. Madi has a short challenge, which closes, I think, the 15th of this month, to do something with a hot air balloon. So while I had this paper pad out, and I knew that I was going to be working on a journal using the steampunk spells, I made a flip card to go in the journal, and I just cut the hot air balloon out, and I put it on a piece of that cardboard, backed it with this to make it just a little bit thicker, and then the paper here, the purple with the yellow stars and the orange in the background, those are from Graphic 45 Charmed Halloween collection. And then this was a brad that I bought from Madi at Spectrum Art Creations, and I just popped it up on a thick dimensional. And then it has a hinge so that I can put it in the page, flip it open, and in the back I have one of the journaling cards from Steampunk Spells in here as well. So that is one of my first challenges for the month of June for Madi's challenge in our Spectrum Art Creations and Friends Facebook group. And the link for that is in the description box below. If you love doing challenges or you have product and you're just not sure where to start, a challenge is a great way to jumpstart your creativity. And I'm having so much fun with the challenges in Madi's group. Now I'm using, for today's piece, there were 2 pieces of paper in each of this pack, and I'm using both of these right here, and that's so I could cut it apart and create some dimension. Now my plan is, this is going to be my cover for my journal, and I have a whole bunch of these boxes. They were from Paper Pumpkin from Stampin' Up. So I have a whole bunch of these to use. So that's what I'm going to use. And I want to do something similar to this on the front cover, but using the steampunk spells. Remember, this is one of them that I made from the during the art retreat last month. So I have that, and here's what I started with. I have a piece of this. Now I'm going to lay this on here because I'm not sure how I'm going to put it together yet, but I wanted to walk you through my process. So I have a piece of that cardboard that I've stripped, so I had the corrugation here. Dry brushed it with black paint, and it's going to go on the front. And then this lady was cut out from the paper pad. Now you'll notice she's missing some things, and that's because I cut off her wings, and her wings are going to glue in here back behind her. I'm going to bring her up I think I'm going to bring her up on another piece of cardboard so she has some dimension. And then the wings are going in the back. Now I have dusted them with, oh God, I just lost it. I know what it's called. Winkostella, so that they glisten. And then I've cut this hat out, and I'm going to put it right over top, but it's going to have a little bit of dimension behind it, and I can do that now. So let's move this aside, and let's do some building, shall we? I love how both of these paper pads really coordinate with one another. Oh, those are the big ones. I don't want the big ones. I want the little ones. So we're going to come in here. Now, I do have my Distress ink, black soot, and I'm using it to distress everything on here because that's going to help add the pop and the dimension. Just like that. And then we can come in with that And put some dimensionals. I think I can do a couple of big ones on the back of here. Because I want the hat to pop up off of her head. Add the dimension that it looks like it's really right in her face. And I'm going to put one right there. And because I don't like the trampoline, I don't like the spring in the middle, I'm going to go ahead and put a big one in the middle, just like that. Now, if you'll notice, there are things missing from her head. And I did that on purpose, because what I'm going to do is I have cut this set out, and they're going to be dimensional, as is the rose behind her. So I'm building dimension with this as much as I can. I have so much I want to try and get done this week, because next week Bob is going to hold down the fort and take care of the animals and hopefully keep my garden watered, while I go see our grandgirls that I've not seen in 7 years, and go see a brother-in-law that I've not seen in probably 12 years. And so I'm looking forward to both of those trips. So I'm going to be gone for 7 or 8 days. So I'm trying to get ahead of getting all the work done. Now, some of these dimensionals, the sticky part's been coming off when I take the backing off. So I'm having to come back in with a little bit of glue and do that. And this is going to sit right there, and I'm going to match it up with her feathers as best I can. And see, that gives a little bit of dimension to her hat. Now, I've taken this part and I punched it out with a 1/2 inch circle punch, and I already have it with, I use this one from Stampin' Up. It's a dimensional crystal effects, but it's shimmery crystal effects, so that it looks like I have a crystal over top of that pocket watch that's around her neck. And when it's dry, I will lay it in here. Now, I've also done the wings, as I said, so I have those set to go on behind her shoulders. So that's why I want to bring her up, so that it helps give the wings dimension, even though they're going to be flat. The other thing I've done, and I thought I brought them, I did. I thought I brought it over with me. I'm going to use plain crystal effects for this one. And I've got her goggles here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glaze those and let those set up tonight, and then tomorrow I can finish doing that just like that and give her goggles a little shine. And then I did her waistband, and again I'm going to dust it with the black soot. Her almost like a cummerbund around her waist. And then we're going to pop this one up on dimensionals as well. I like Stampin' Up's dimensionals because they're not as thick. The ones I have, and I have a bunch of them from Recollections, that are super thick. I mean, they're twice as thick as these are. They are twice as thick as the ones from Stampin' Up. So I like the fact that the ones from Stampin' Up are not as thick, so they add dimension without really adding a lot of bulk. And then we're going to set that right in there. Just like that. And then I've also done the same thing with the Raven. I cut him out. And we're going to dust him around. And I need to come in here so I can get into his, in between his tail feathers. And then him, I do want to bring up a couple of different heights. So I am going to layer him up a little bit more, so that he will set up above that cummerbund. I am going to have so much fun putting this journal together. And yes, I know, starting yet another journal. But because hot air balloons and that kind of thing fit in with this journal, it was a perfect time for me to do this one. And I'll have it done ahead of time for Christmas. So there's that. That doesn't happen often. Okay, so I need to put that one off. And I'm trying to match these up as best I can. that one off. And until I got into this All Things Altered, I wasn't, and did that other book plate, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with this. And I'm really glad. See, now that's brought up enough that it's not completely even and laying on that cummerbund. It's up above it a little bit. Now, Bob thought I needed to cut the handlebars out, but it looked funky to me, so I didn't do it. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is her rose. And I've got to put my cheaters on for this one, because I want to add dimension with that rose too. And I am going to cut the leaf out above this. I'm just cutting all the greenery out from behind that rose so it stands out on its own. Okay, there's that. Get the glasses off so I can see. Again, I'm going to dust those edges. Black soot is just scorched timber is a nice color, but for when it comes to this, especially things like steampunk, to me, black soot, you can't beat it. Now, I want to put that one on. I think it will take a big dimensional. Just like that. And the idea is to turn this to where we're going the same direction. I think that's it, right? There. Okay, so there she is. And these other things are going to be left to dry, and I'm going to come back in on the rose. And I'm going to add the Wink of Stella to the rose. Just so that rose has some sparkle. We'll do the same thing with the leaves, and it will help them stand out. Just like that. Okay, now the one thing I thought about, and I'm not sure about, let's get rid of this. I want to look over here in my dimensionals and see if I have teeny tiny, perhaps a yellow or a green that would be perfect for that, for the eyeball for that crow. That's a yellow. I'd really like to put a green eye in there for that crow, but let's see what we've got here. Could give him a red eye, but I think that might be a little too off-putting. One of these maybe. Just pilfering through my file over here of what I have that I could use. I'd really like to use some kind of a green, but I don't think I have any sparkly greens, and a sparkly green is what I need for that. Okay, so for our crow, we have, these are a choice. I don't think that's the right green. Or we have that yellow. Let's try that yellow and see what happens. And it has to be a tiny one. Put it right there. Yeah, that's better. Let's his eyes stand out a little bit. I like that. Okay. So that's going to do it for me today for our All Things Altered. Let me bring my pieces back in. I have not decided what I'm covering the box yet for the journal, but I do know I really like that purple. This is from Unique Cosmetics, and I liked it because I add, as opposed to doing a plain purple, I liked the addition of the swirls in the back. And then she'll go on here. I'm also going to bring in black lace. I have black lace from Madi. Now, if I'm doing something for Madi's challenges, I have to incorporate at least 3 items for Madi's challenge. And I have 2 different paper packs here. So I have that. Now I've only got 1 on here, the Steampunk Spells. So I'm going to have to come up with a couple extra things for this. And one of them could be to use this lace, and it's really not wide enough. I really need to see what I've got that's wider. Oh, but wait a minute. Nope, I don't like that. Don't like that. We'll figure it out. That might have been nice. We'll work on it. But I need to bring in, I want to bring in some black lace. And probably over here, but I also have to make sure that whatever I bring in, if I can, make it something from Madi's. It doesn't have to be. I don't have to do a Madi thing on here. I would just like to. The more items I can get turned in for challenges, the better. And since the paper pad came from Madi's, I'd like to continue that and do other things, but I don't think I have any lace appropriate for this. So the cover may not be a Madi challenge item, but I think when it's done, it's still going to look really cool. So tuck her wings in here. Next Monday, I will have her dry and finished, and we'll see what I do for next Monday. I've got to figure it out by Friday. I do know that. So thanks for joining me in the studio today. Remember to check out Crafting in the Waiting down in the description box below. Her link is always going to be there on Mondays. And I will see you back here tomorrow. I'm pretty sure. Oh, tomorrow is Try It Tuesday. And we're going to play something similar to Tim Holtz's new stuff. So you're going to want to come back tomorrow and check that out. In the meantime, remember to like, to share, subscribe, and creative blessings.